Hello, everyone, and welcome back to PodQuiver. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Alex. Today, we are breaking the speed limit. We are going to learn how to learn fast.
Fast learning? You mean like skimming a book in 5 minutes? Because that never works for me.
No, not skimming. We are talking about a protocol used by an MIT graduate to survive in the world of AI. It's called the 3C protocol.
3C. Sounds like a sci-fi robot name. What does it stand for?
Compress, compile, and consolidate. But before we get there, we have to understand why 99% of people fail at learning. Sarah, imagine you have a tiny 4-ounce bowl, and I try to dump a gallon of water into it. What happens?
It spills everywhere. You only keep 4 ounces.
Exactly. That bowl is your prefrontal cortex. It's the CEO of your brain. It processes new ideas, but it is tiny and it is metabolically expensive.
Metabolically expensive?
Yes, it burns glucose like crazy. So when you try to cram or memorize everything the night before an exam, you are dumping a gallon into a tiny bowl. It spills. You forget it the next day.
That explains my college years perfectly. So, how do we fit the gallon into the bowl?
You have to compress it. That is the first C. You don't memorize, you reduce. Look at Magnus Carlsen, the chess grandmaster. He knows 50,000 patterns. But he doesn't memorize every single pawn move. He sees chunks.
Chunking. We've heard that before. It's grouping things together, right?
Yes, instead of seeing A, B, C, D, he sees pattern 1. He compresses complexity into simplicity.
Okay, but I'm not a chess player. How do I compress a textbook?
3 steps. First, selection. You use the 80-20 rule. Read the 20% of the book that gives you 80% of the value.
So I don't have to read cover to cover?
No, that's inefficient. Find the core idea. Second, association. Connect the new idea to something you already know. Science shows you cannot learn something new unless you hook it onto an old memory.
Like when I remember a password by connecting it to my birthday?
Exactly. That is association. And finally, step 3, visualization or modeling. Draw a picture, make a diagram. Turn the 100 pages into one simple drawing.
Ah, so if I can't draw it on a napkin, I haven't compressed it enough.
Bingo. If you can simplify it, you can carry it in your brain. If it's too complex, you will drop it.
So compression is about packing light for the journey of learning.
Precisely. Stop hoarding information. Start compressing it.
That is a game changer. Less is more. Let's review the vocabulary for this part. First word, cramming.
Cramming is studying intensively over a short period of time just before an examination. It is the opposite of the 3C protocol.
Second, metabolically. Related to the metabolism, chemical processes, in the body. Thinking is metabolically expensive. It makes you hungry and tired.
Third, compression. The action of squeezing or pressing things together to make them smaller.
And fourth, association. A mental connection between things. You need to associate new facts with old memories.
So, we have compressed the information. We have the map. But how do we actually walk the path without burning out?
We need a timer and a test. We will discuss the second C, compile, in the next part.
Welcome back. Before we talk about the method, let me tell you about Kim Peek. He was the real-life inspiration for the movie Rain Man. Kim could read 2 pages at once, one with his left eye, one with his right. He memorized 12,000 books.
That is a superpower. I wish I had his brain.
But here is the tragedy. Kim struggled to button his own shirt. He struggled with simple social skills. He had memory, but he didn't have mastery.
Wow, so you can store the world in your head, but still not know how to live in it.
Exactly. That is why the second C is so important. Compile. This is where we turn information into action. And to do that, you need 2 things, the timer and the test.
Okay, let's start with the timer. Is this the Pomodoro technique? 25 minutes?
Close, but biologically our brain operates on a longer cycle called the Ultradian Rhythm. It's a 90-minute cycle of peak focus.
90 minutes? That's a long time to focus.
It is, but that's the limit. After 90 minutes, your brain chemicals run out. You must take a 20-minute break. Think of it like a battery. You use it for 90, charge it for 20. If you skip the break, you are just grinding gears. You are learning nothing.
Grinding gears. I like that. So, work hard, rest hard.
Exactly. Now, the second tool, the test. Most people study for 6 months and then take one big test at the end.
Yeah, that's called school.
And it's a terrible system. In Silicon Valley, software engineers use agile development. They work in sprints. They code for a day, then test it. Code, test. Code, test. We should learn the same way.
So, don't read the whole chapter? Read one page and test myself?
Yes. Read a concept, close the book, and ask, what did I just read? Test yourself immediately. The struggle to remember is what wires the brain. Neuroscience calls this the generation effect. The harder you work to generate the answer, the stronger the memory.
So, when I feel frustrated because I can't remember, that's actually good?
It's excellent. Friction means growth. If it feels easy, you aren't learning. My favorite way to test myself is the teach to learn method.
Do you need a student for that?
No, I lecture the wall. I pretend I'm giving a TED Talk to an empty room. If I can explain it simply to the wall, then I own the knowledge.
That's actually brilliant, because if you stumble or get confused while talking, you know exactly what you don't know.
Exactly. It exposes your gaps immediately.
I'm going to try lecturing my cat tonight. Let's review the vocabulary for the compile phase. First word, mastery.
Mastery is comprehensive knowledge or skill in a subject. It's deeper than just memory.
Second, cadence. A rhythmic flow of a sequence of sounds or words. Your learning needs a cadence. 90 minutes on, 20 minutes off.
Third, friction. The resistance that one surface or object encounters when moving over another. In learning, friction, difficulty, creates the spark of memory.
And fourth, to internalize. To make an attitude or behavior part of one's nature by learning or unconscious assimilation. Teaching helps you internalize the information.
So, we compressed the data. We compiled it with tests. But there is one final step. If you don't do this, the save button in your brain won't work.
And surprisingly, the final step involves doing absolutely nothing. We will talk about consolidate in part 3.
Welcome back. Before we talk about brains, let's talk about farming. Sarah, do you know why farmers leave a field empty for a season?
To let the soil rest? To get the nutrients back?
Exactly. If you plow the field every single day, you kill the soil. It loses fertility. Your brain is the same. This leads us to the final C, consolidate. This is where the permanent memory is built.
So consolidation happens when we stop working?
Yes. Learning is a two-stage process. Stage 1 is focus. You send the request to the brain to rewire. Stage 2 is rest. This is when the rewiring actually happens. Think of it like road construction. They fix the road at night when there is no traffic. If you keep driving, thinking, they can't fix the road.
That makes sense. So if I study for 5 hours straight without a break, I'm basically stopping the construction crew?
Precisely. You are sending the request, but not allowing the install. We need rest at 2 levels, micro and macro. Let's start with micro rest. Research shows that if you study intensely and then pause for just 10 seconds, magic happens. In those 10 seconds of doing nothing, your brain replays the information you just learned at 20 times the speed.
Wait, so if I stare at the wall for 10 seconds, my brain practices the lesson 20 times?
Yes, it's like getting free repetitions, but you have to do nothing.
So I can't check Instagram during that break?
Absolutely not. Scrolling on TikTok is not rest. That is new information input. You have to close your eyes or stare at space. Now, let's talk about macro rest. The speaker in the video uses a technique called NSDR.
NSDR. Sounds like a space mission.
It stands for non-sleep deep rest. In yoga, it's called Yoga Nidra. It's basically lying down for 20 minutes, closing your eyes, and relaxing your body without falling asleep.
Just lying there? That sounds boring.
It is boring, but boring is good. This 20-minute reset restores your dopamine and consolidates memory faster than sleep. And finally, the ultimate macro rest: sleep. Did you know that when you sleep, your brain replays your day in reverse?
In reverse? Like a movie playing backwards?
Yes, it strengthens the connections from the end to the beginning. That's why pulling an all-nighter, staying up all night, is the worst way to learn.
I feel so guilty. I used to drink 5 coffees and study until 4 a.m.
We all did. But now we know better. To learn fast, you must sleep deep.
Okay, so compress, compile, and then sleep. I can do that. Let's review the vocabulary for this section. First word, consolidate.
Consolidate means to make something physically stronger or more solid. In learning, it means moving information from short-term to long-term memory.
Second, counterintuitive. Contrary to intuition or to common sense expectation.
Resting to learn faster is counterintuitive.
Third, fertility.
The quality of being productive. Resting the soil restores its fertility.
And fourth, to rewire. To provide with new wiring. Learning literally rewires the neurons in your brain.
So we have the complete system, the 3 C's. But there is one last enemy that stops us. It's not the brain, it's the ego.
The ego. The voice that says, you are stupid when you make a mistake. We will talk about the performer versus the critic in the finale.
Welcome to the finale. We have the tools, but why do we still fail? It's because of a civil war inside your head.
A civil war? You mean like when I tell myself, I'm going to study, but my brain says, nah, let's watch Netflix.
Worse, it's when you are actually studying and you make a mistake. What does that voice say?
Oh, that voice is mean. It says, you are stupid. Why is this taking so long? Everyone else gets it faster.
That is the critic. The problem is, you cannot be the performer and the critic at the same time. When you are learning, if the critic is shouting, "That was wrong," every 5 seconds, your brain freezes. It creates anxiety.
So we have to kick the critic out of the room?
Exactly. While you are in the compile phase, just do. Make mistakes. Be messy. Invite the critic back only after you are done to review the work, never during. And the second enemy is comparison. The speaker says, stop racing other people.
But Alex, it's hard. I see 12-year-olds on YouTube coding apps, and I can barely use Excel.
There will always be someone faster. Always. If you race them, you lose. Your only competition is you from yesterday. Learning is like an ocean. It has tides. It ebbs and flows. Sometimes you learn fast, sometimes you feel stuck. That is natural.
That is comforting. I usually panic when I feel stuck. I think, I hit my limit.
It's not a limit, it's a plateau. It's part of the rhythm. Just keep the cadence, 90-minute work, 20-minute rest, and you will break through. So, let's recap the entire 3C protocol. Sarah?
Step 1. Compress. Don't pour the gallon into the bowl. Chunk it. Simplify it.
Correct. Step 2.
Compile. Use the timer and the test. Teach it to the wall.
And step 3.
Consolidate. Do nothing. Rest. Sleep. Let the construction crew fix the road.
Perfect. If you follow this, learning isn't luck. It's a system.
I feel smarter already. Before we go, let's do our final vocabulary review for the series. First word, inhibitor.
An inhibitor is something that slows down or prevents a process. Anxiety is a learning inhibitor.
Second, plateau. A state of little or no change following a period of activity or progress. Don't panic when you hit a learning plateau.
Third, ebb and flow. A recurrent or rhythmical pattern of coming and going. Learning has an ebb and flow.
And finally, the critic. A person who expresses an unfavorable opinion of something. Silence your inner critic.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the brain. Learning is the ultimate superpower in the 21st century.
Don't forget to consolidate this episode. Take a 10-second break after this video ends.
Tell us in the comments, what skill are you trying to learn? Is it English? Coding? Guitar? Let us know.
Subscribe for more brain hacks.
See you next time.